You have to make things fun in order to enjoy your life and accomplish your goals. Truly, I feel like I've been struggling for so many years with succeeding. And what success means for me is basically just being proactive in the things I want to do, doing what I said I was going to do, and actually being consistent with those things. I've tried so many different things over the years, all the productivity hacks and tips and tricks and tools. I've tried the conferences, I've paid for, well, not a lot, I've probably paid for like two in my entire lifetime, but I've paid for, what do you call it? A course. I've bought a course before. I have gone to therapists. I have indulged in therapy speak. I feel like I've done all the things that a 27-year-old would have done to try to, come within herself. The thing that has actually truly worked is me just seeking fun in my life. I guess you could say that it's a form of romanticizing your life. I have definitely made sure that everything in my life is fun. The reason that I started this YouTube channel is because I wanted it to be fun. Why put a barrier within that, right? Why make it harder for yourself? And it always becomes hard when you have all these goals and then you put this pressure on yourself because you need to reach these goals and then you put a timeline on said goals and then it just all becomes so much. And it always became too much for me, at least, to the point where my brain always said, I do not compute. I want this to be over right frigging now. I think I truly stopped having fun when I was around 8 years old. For a bit of background, I actually was born in Cameroon and my family and I moved, well, half of my family and I moved to England when I must have been about 6 years old. And so I truly felt a rupture in my family life. I had gone from the perfect, tight knit, always together family to us kind of being separated and all over the place. I went from having a child free, or I should say, a stress free childhood and having fun every single day to thinking every single day about when my family and I would be reunited. As we always say, the body keeps the score and everything is rooted very deeply internally. The journey for me to finding joy and happiness again in the mundanity of life and in my everyday activities has been a very long one. It might not be the most fun thing you've ever heard. It might be something that you've heard over and over and over again, and you're just absolutely tired of people saying you need to journal, but you do need to journal. My journaling story goes back to when I was 14 years old. Was it 13? I received my first ever journal from my aunt. She absolutely changed my life. I found myself writing from the youngest age. I think, as far as it goes back, as far as my memory goes back, truly, I've been writing, but I had never been offered a journaling book before. And that's really what kickstarted, I think, my whole introspective journey with myself. So, this journal over the years is what has allowed me to find my peace again. And I'm using all of these different words, but when we say joy, when we're talking about happiness, when we're talking about fun, we're really all going back to the same thing. It's peace. It's finding that relief within ourselves that makes it okay to be okay. Journaling really allowed me to rediscover myself and pinpoint exactly what was blocking me from having fun in my day to day life. So I pinpointed my lack of fun back to the fact that I was feeling fear. This emotion that a lot of us feel was indeed handicapping me in my own personal life, my own personal, professional, romantic, whatever, in my life, girl, okay, my life. Fear, when untamed, really beats your ass, for lack of better terms. It doesn't allow you to think rationally. I'll give you an example. I'm terrified of lightning. I'm so scared of lightning. I live in a pretty modern country, in a pretty modern city, in and I live in the city center, or at least close to the city center. So I know that we're quite well protected. But my fear just makes me think so irrationally. I feel like every single time there is thunder and lightning, I am going to get struck by it. Whether I'm indoors, outdoors, whether, whatever it may be, I'm just so scared of it. I'm so petrified of it that it physically makes my whole body tense up and it causes me to think irrationally. I only started becoming a little bit more at ease with the idea of lightning and thunder once I started really digging deeper and trying to figure out where that fear was coming from. And so that's what I've had to do with everything else in my life, right? And that is what has allowed me to have a little bit more fun. I'm not going to go outside whilst it's raining and thundering and dance underneath it. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not there yet. Maybe I will in a few years. However, I am able to leave my blinds open when it's raining and thundering because I have unlocked at least a one part of, my brain chemistry that thinks that thunder and lightning is out to get me specifically. It means that I can romanticize and have fun with my life. Like I said, leaving the blinds open and sitting down and watching a really nice movie or my comfort show or whatever. I can romanticize the sound. Whatever you're feeling that is stopping you from having fun, you have to dissect it. I started this YouTube channel, a few days ago, and it's been maybe 10 years in the making. I have drafts of videos that I never posted it or that I did years ago, but then I deleted because I was scared, I was petrified. And I had to sit with that. I had to journal, I had to dissect and figure out why I was feeling that way. How could I stop feeling that way? I'm a very straightforward, boxed in type of person. It's core at the root. That's how I was. And I really had to break out of that. Everything was so serious for me. I just always had to have the plan, it has to be the 10-step plan. And then you have to do plan A has 10 steps, plan B has 20 steps, plan C has 100 steps, and then you go down to plan E, okay? It was never ending. And so that also feeds into, fear, the fear of the future, the fear of nothing control, the fear of so many things. Fear is always at the root and the center of it all, but I digress. The mentality I have now is very much, the universe knows what it's doing. We're here for a good time, not a long time. None of this is real, first of all. I am here without being here, okay? I'm here and I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm not in the mindset of, and I think I used to be in the business of, none of this matters. What is the point in trying? But now it's like, hey, none of this matters. Like, what is the point of trying? But maybe not what is the point of trying, but none of this matters. That is freaking awesome. You can literally do whatever you want to do. Who cares, right? And so I think having this great shift in the way that you see things, how serious you are about life, how serious you are about your friendships, for example. I used to be a very, like I was saying, one box fits all type of gal. I thought that all of my friends were supposed to be these really serious, deep friendships. And if people weren't bringing me that, then it was kind of like you have no value to my life and there's no reason for you to be here because you're not contributing to my growth and blah, 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 blah. And that's just not how we work. That's not how humans work. I think we all have things to teach each other. We're not all deeply introspective people. Not everyone wants to talk about the universe and why we're here. Not everyone wants to talk about football. Not everyone wants to talk about what's popular in pop culture, and not everyone wants to go to the cinema. Not everyone, we are all so different, and I think we have a lot to teach each other in our differentness. And I didn't used to see the world that way. I used to see the world in of course there are limits, for example political views and stuff. There are obviously limits, but I think people have so much to teach us, especially when they're different to us, and especially when we're not just kind of creating this bubble around us of people who think exactly like us and people who maybe even conform us in our ways of thinking because they never push us to think outside of the box because, well, they think exactly like us. You don't have to be so strict. Have fun. Let go. Relationships and romantic partners, you don't always have to take seriously. Baby, you are 19 years old. Please stop crying. Go shake some ass. If you find yourself trying to fit yourself in these rules and all of these made up things, it does not sit well with your soul, stop trying. Stop trying. If you're not having fun, there's no point in any of this. This is such an all over the place video. The sun has set and I hope the lighting is still okay, but I'm gonna wrap it up here because it's gonna be dark in a second. I just want to finish this video off by saying that In order for you to have fun, I would say that you have to do three things. The first thing is beat your fear, whatever that fear is. Actually, maybe the first thing I would say is figure out what you are scared of. I feel like it always comes from being scared. You're not having fun because you're scared of something. So figure out what you're scared of. Number two is beating that fear because it's not enough to know what you're scared of. It's a great place to start, but in order for you to have fun, you need to beat that fear. And you can actually always beat that fear by having fun. And the third thing is to change your mentality. Of course, you could hang on to a certain principle. For example, I was obsessed with radical optimism at one point. I was obsessed with the full Toltec rules, I think it's called, like not taking anything personally, not projecting, always doing your best, etc. I really got into stoicism and the Buddhist way, the Buddhist mentality, which is just not taking anything personally and you're always projecting, right? So if you have to hang on to something that really helps you change your mentality and shift the way you see the world and the people that you're interacting with, and even the way you interact with yourself, then you'll take things a lot less personally, and in turn you're gonna have so much fun because, oh my gosh, when you're not taking things personally, life is just fun. Life is full of whimsy. Like sometimes I would, oh my gosh, I remember someone would say something that probably had nothing to do with me, but because I was so scared, again, I hadn't worked through that fear and I wasn't having fun and I was projecting a lot of things, I would take it so personally and it would just ruin my entire week or month or even years sometimes because I would just be ruminating. But then once I got out of that projecting mindset and I got out of, you know, taking things so personally, oh my gosh, I just started like, it's like a veil is lifted from your eyes and you can see things clearer again. You just, why give yourself that anxiety? Why give yourself that stress, baby, when you can just be having fun, basically, is all I'm going to say. And I've started going off on a tangent again, so I will be stopping this video here. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. If you made it, I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy, and you can go check out my other video because I have one other video up on this channel. Obviously, like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you enjoyed. And I will be seeing you next time. Oh, and also, this is basically just my visual diary of me being in my late 20s and navigating life. And I talk about a bunch of different things, or I plan to talk about a bunch of different things. And I promise I will be getting better at looking at the camera also. It's only my third day out here, you know?